Hi guys, welcome back. This is our last set of notes for volume. And the last thing we're going to be talking about today is this shape, which is, as you might know, a sphere. Okay, go ahead, pause the video and copy the formula down from your formula chart. Alright, so what you should have copied down was that the volume of a sphere equals 4/3 times pi times r cubed. And as we all know, the r stands for the radius. Okay, so now in this case, we're going to go ahead and draw in the radius of the sphere. So we're going to draw a dot at the center, and we're going to go out towards the edge. And this happens to be 4 inches in radius. Okay, so r is 4, and now our only job is to go over here and go ahead and we can plug in these numbers. Alright, so we're going to say 4/3 times pi, which is 3.14, and times r, our radius, which is 4 to the 3rd power. Okay, well, order of operations tells us that we actually need to go ahead and do these exponents first. And I know that 4 to the 3rd power is 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times another 4, well, that's 64. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute in everything I know, and I'm going to say 3.14 times 64. Okay, and now in order to multiply these, I'm going to go ahead and do this the long way, and then I'm going to show you. So in order to multiply these, I'm going to multiply as a fraction. So I'm going to go straight across. Okay, well, I can already tell you that my denominator is 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 1 is 3. So my denominator is 3, and then I'm going to have to go over here, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to multiply 64 times 4. This right here times this 4. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 6. Carry that 1. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1 is 25. So it's 256. But I still also need to multiply it by this 3.14. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. 3.14. I'm sorry, that's kind of hard to see. Okay. Alright, so then we have 4 times 6 is 20. That 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2 is 22. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 is 10. I'll hold the place with a 0. And then I'm going to do 1 times 6 times 5, 1 times 2. Then I'm going to go down here, hold 2 place values. 3 times 6, 18. 3 times 5, 15 plus 1, 16. Times 2 plus 1 is 7. Okay. Then I'll move this over here. Then I'm going to go ahead and add. So 4, 8, 13. That gives me 10. And there's 8. And I can't forget about my decimal place. I have 2 digits to the right of the decimal, so I'm going to move it in 2 times. So the number on top is going to be 803.84. So this means that I could do 803.84 divided by 3. Top dog in the house, as we like to say it. So we're going to do here. Okay. Divided by 3. You guys should be able to do this on your own. Move that decimal point up. Alright, here we go. We're almost there. It's a 4. Okay, and then I would bring down a 0 here. Now this is getting to the point where it's starting to go a little bit over the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and estimate and say that the volume here is 267 and to 2 decimal places. So 0.946 becomes 0.95. And that is in inches cubed because we're talking about volume. Now, I'm going to show you just a little trick, and I'll do this in a different. And the reason I'm showing you this trick is so that you can make your life a little bit easier. So over here, when we said this step right here, we're going to change that up just a little bit, okay? So here, we're actually going to say 4/3, and then instead of pi 3.14, we're just going to estimate, because a lot of times estimating will get us close enough. So instead of pi 3.14, we're just going to say 3. And then we would say times 4 cubed. Well, I already know that's 64. So I'm just going to go ahead and say 64 over 1. Okay, so we've basically replaced this. Actually, it's more like we've replaced this step right here. That's really more what we're doing. Okay, so here I can notice that I could do some cross reducing. So I see a 3 on the bottom and a 3 on the top. So each of those gets by 3, which means that that's a 1 and this is a 1. Which means that I get left with a 1 on the bottom. 1 times 1 times 1. Which means that right here, all I really have to do is multiply 64 times this 4, and I should get pretty close to my answer. And if you check that out, 64 times 4, oh, well, I actually already did that work. That's right here. 64 times 4 is 256, which is a little bit less than our answer here, but that gets me close enough that on a multiple choice question, I could probably estimate and know that my answer is going to be a little bit greater than 256. So that's a little trick for you. This will happen every time you calculate volume of a sphere because it's always 4/3 times pi. So you can really cross and really just multiply 4 times your radius cubed. So I hope that helps you out. Right now, let's get ready. We're going to do our assignment. You'll need to finish your assignment for spheres and then go back to whatever you didn't finish for pyramids and cones from yesterday. All right, work hard.